Hi everyone, this is CS Shilpi Periwal, and as you all know, we are doing this interview series for your benefit. And today we have on board a business coach, Mr. James Vineet, with us. So let us welcome James, sir.
Hello,
Hi,
hi.
James.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing very good, thank you.
Great. So, James sir is an author. He is a TEDx speaker too. And most importantly, he's a business coach. He's that kind of a business coach who is sure to help your business grow to 10x levels. You can rely on him for that. He's a philanthropist. Plus, he also runs his own NGO. And he also has a talk show on Polymer TV coming up, right?
Yes, that happened a few years ago. It's still live on YouTube channel as well.
Great, great, great. So, James, you mostly help out the business coaches, but today I'm going to involve you to help out our students over here.
Pleasure. I must really appreciate the kind of work that you're doing. Definitely, all your series, the interview series, should be very, very helpful and insightful for the student community, is what I believe. Thank you for that.
Yeah, James. So, James, tell me something. Your educational qualification was totally different from what you are doing right now as a business coach. So, what made the shift possible from a mainstream career, what you were doing, to a niche segment like this?
See, when you look at the education system, I don't want to blame the education system. That's how much they could do. It's just like people try to take the first group in plus one so that all the options are open for them. That is how I also see the undergraduation and the post graduation. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
want to really get solid into a particular niche, what happens is you need to have that kind of a clarity when you're so young. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. So did my BBA and then the MBA, then again MSc psychology and MPhil and all that. So even now, when I look back, now only the dots are getting connected. So I believe 20 to 25 is kind of try all kind of a stuff, know your talent, explore yourself kind of a thing. 25 to 30 is when you're really narrowing down on your niches, and 30 to 40 is zoom your, it's like the Ferrari car, and that's the really money making time. And by 40s you should be like dominating your particular niche. This is how I kind of envision things.
Cool.
So obviously, whatever your education is giving you, take it as an experience. Because I could still remember did I studied all the theories in the accounts paper and got a pass mark. But now when I look back, when I reflect on these things, I am actually teaching or coaching entrepreneurs how to look at a practical P&L, how to do budgeting. So it's
True.
all connecting the dots. At that time my understanding of things were not to them, because see, when you look at the learning cycle, I always, this is a golden triangle is what people say:
Right.
learn, teach, do, teach. So whoever is doing learn, do and teach, that's when the real result happens. So when you're going through a normal education system, most of the time it's learn and teach, not the doing part is missing for the
True,
teaching
true,
community as
true,
well. But
so true.
again, with all due respect, I respect the professors. Some of them are after the experience they're coming to teach, but again the practicality changes, no, the
Yes,
dimensions
yeah.
totally changes. 10 years back, you look at a restaurant, people were having Coke with a burger. Right now, you look at a restaurant, people will be having water with a burger. So that's why Coke started Kinley as a brand. Now, being so connected with the market is very important. So I would say just enjoy your college life, learn, and as you learn, you need to do a case study in your mind. Because when I did this BBA, MBA, and all that, along apart from the usual case studies, when we look at a store, we used to try to understand what will be his lifetime value, what should be his turnover, what is the cost per sale. Just applying that in the real life, I think that's the way to go about it.
Right, right. So basically, students should be focusing more on the knowledge part about the practicalities part than just clearing the exam off. Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you find hard enough, there are options around you. Like you're studying a subject, when somebody is actually running a business or working in that particular area, here's the stuff. Who is doing what you want to become, or who is already achieved what you wanted to achieve. Have
Right.
some kind of a mentorship with them, trying to be in touch with them. Then you understand how the relevancy of your knowledge is very important, right? So that should help, is
Right.
what I believe.
Right, James. So, how has the journey been so far for you as a business coach?
The journey, I must say, I'm a very spiritually grounded person, and I see a lot of people being spiritually grounded. When I mean spiritually grounded, I'm not talking about religion or anything over here. It's about you,
Right.
the creator, and the connectivity and stuff. Because I strongly believe that every one of us are carrying we all have a purpose in this life. About
Mm-hmm.
10 years back, I did my first TEDx talk, roughly about 10 years. The topic of my TEDx talk was purposeful living. So
Okay.
I am a very strong believer that we're all sent here to this world for a purpose, and you need to know what is your talent, what are you good with, and what kind of an impact you'll be able to make in this particular life as well. So when you go through that journey, then the journey takes you. So it's not like you are finding the path. Sometimes people say this career chose me. That kind of a stuff is what I had, because when I turn back, I played multiple roles. I played a marketing role, I played a HR role, I played a cost accounting role. But now there was even days I was wondering, why am I even doing this? Because I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be inspiring entrepreneurs, helping people to scale up. Now when I look back, it is a blessing, is what I must say. The versatility of our exposure, working with different companies, being a small trader or a mass level corporate companies, that exposure is now, it's like a perfect parcel or a package. Now we're able to add more meaningful difference into our clients as well. So the journey was more of being focused on how we can add value in whatever career we are with. And a lot of students will go through this. It's not like immediately you'll jump on your dream job. There are certain steps you need to go through. It's like the gold, it needs to go through that, or the melting process. Sometimes it's more painful. Now only because of that we are celebrating gold, we having it as an ornament. So the same thing
Right.
happens to your career as well. Sometimes you feel, why me? Why is it happening to
Right.
me? But trust me, the dots are beautifully connected.
And James, these it's different for the students of this generation compared to what it was for us. Like these days, I feel kids rethink too much on the decisions which they are taking with regards to their career. Could be due to say peer pressure, parents' pressure, or in general, they have a lot more options compared to what was there before. So, how do you think? What is it one thing which can help them make a proper choice about it?
I always follow and suggest this particular tool. It's called as the hedgehog concept. In simple terms, I would like to call it as three words: passion, money, and strength. Okay, so we call it as PSM: passion, strength, money, basically. So
Mhm.
anybody it is applicable even for someone who wants to start a business, who's already in a running a business, and most importantly, very very helpful for career guidance as well. So
Mhm.
list down on a piece of paper, what are your passions, what are you
Mhm.
so passionate about. Even at 12 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning, somebody wakes you up and asks you to do it, I'll do it without hesitating. So at any day, lifelong, I'd like to do this. So list all your passions, then ask yourself, what am I good at? These are the things I'm really really strong at. And then you find out what are the things you'll get paid for. It has to be common in terms of your passion and strength. For instance, I am too good, I'm passionate about singing, but maybe I'm not that level in singing. If I sing, let's say, not many people are going to pay me for it. So it's not going to be a I'm not going to make a debut in that particular career.
Correct.
And when you look at strength, I can really really draw very well. But is it my passion? Can I just draw for the rest of my lifetime? Can I wake up and keep drawing? No, definitely not. So it doesn't qualify. Now when you look at speaking or coaching or helping people or communication, creativity, idea, strategy, these are some of the things that are coming into passion and strength as well. Now I need to brainstorm or probably interview a few people and find out what are the money making ideas, money making niches in this particular area. And then that's the way to go about it, because a good career is not only should not be only decided on money making, should be decided
Correct.
on purposeful living and how you can contribute and all that. Because for the rest of your life, you shouldn't operate from here, you should be operating from here.
Come
So
here.
even right now, if you look at me, I'm working, right? So this is not work for me, this is like hobby. It's like just as equal to playing a video game or anything for me, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I'll never be stressed with my life. So this
Right.
is what I suggest for people to do it.
Right. So that was one amazing nugget of wisdom from James Vineet. Work from your heart and not from your head for the rest of your life. Because then only probably you can enjoy. Otherwise, you can make money, but it's not like you cannot enjoy that money. You cannot enjoy the journey which you made while creating this money. So that's again very important.
Just adding on, I think this was the owner of Lakshmi Ceramics. In one of his interviews, he says,
Okay.
beyond a certain level, money becomes paper. That's like, that really
So
stuck in my head,
true, so true,
beyond a level, money becomes paper.
so true,
So
so
money should be a byproduct, and then it's all, you should be excited doing this day in and day out.
correct, correct, correct. So true, so true. Right. And James, for the students right now, they all are stuck up at their homes right now. The exams, most of them have got postponed. So most of them are just like killing away their time. How do you think? What can they do at this time and productively use this time? Any
How
suggestions?
superb question. I would say have all the fun. You'll never get this kind of a time again. But call something as golden hour of my life. At least
Mm-hmm.
1 hour, and if you're good enough to do 2 or 3 hours per day, it's cool. Just at least 1 hour of golden hour for my life. Basically, everything else around you is stealing your time. So you tell to yourself, I'm going to steal my own 1 hour. It's going to be a golden hour for my life, and I'm going to invest it for my future as well, because that will give you the best return on investment as well. What I
Mm-hmm.
recommend you doing in that is, again, a lot of ideas are there, like books and all that stuff. But one of the best thing that you could do is, like we talked about, this passion, strength, money. Do something
Mm-hmm.
called as a mining process. This mining process is
Okay.
more of like an interviewing process, because others can see your highs and lows clearly than you. I'm
You
not saying
yourself
give
can.
more
True,
importance to others' perception, but heed
true,
to others' perceptions also. So here are the questions that you need to be asking others. Number one is your relatives, uncles, aunties, brothers, sisters. Question number one is, what do you think are my strengths? Question number two should be, what do you think are my weaknesses? Question number three is, if you are in my situation, like given this kind of family, son of so and so, daughter of so and so, and father or mother being with this kind of an exposure, what would be your career option? I'm not saying just absolutely go with it, but you'll be amazed at the kind of answers that coming in you. If you are in my position with this kind of a situation, what would be your career option? And fourth question should be, what should be my immediate next step for that particular career option?
Mhm.
And very surprisingly, I did this many years ago. i was
Okay.
so I was laughing at some of the answers. Somebody told me you're a great professor. Somebody told me you could be a very good marketing guy. I'm a trainer by that time, so I was like, marketing me. And somebody told me you could be a very good philanthropist and all that stuff. But when I look back, man, I did play every single role. It's so good that whatever people look at you. And some of the nice lines really stuck into my head as well. People appreciate you. People also give you some of the things that you need to improve. That's a very good exercise, is what I believe. And you need to
Mhm.
have a lot of courage to do that, because it is to look at somebody in the eye and say, if there is some weakness in me, let me know. I would like to improve myself. That calls for a lot of courage. And if at a young age people are doing this, man, that'll really be a great investment of their life.
I also had done this exercise a couple of years back, and I was actually amazed with the results. My students wanted me to do so many other things. Like, a lot of people felt like I could speak well, I could write well, I could sort out their problems well. And, these were the things which I had not realized I could do. So,
Superb.
it just, we
Awesome.
do it unconsciously. And later on, people tell us that, yes, we are good at all these things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, it's all about the conviction level. When I say conviction, there are three levels to conviction. One is opinion.
Mhm.
People feel I may do it, I may not do it. Number two is the belief level, like people really believe it. Third is, like, in court and all, they use this term called conviction, convicted. It's like proven. So when you talk to others, interview, and they say the same thing, you build that conviction level. Conviction is like how deeply you believe something would happen. The best example is, how many of I normally ask, how many of you believe that you'll be alive tomorrow? That's like beyond opinion, beyond belief, that conviction level, no? You build that kind of a conviction for your dream, for your career. When you interview such people, you feel like, yes, this is it. I'm able to, that conviction will give you strength to go further in life, because in life there will be certain phases where you'll have to just walk alone. Everything around you will seem fading away, but you'll have to walk alone, and you need a lot of conviction for that. But this process will help you.
Right, right. And then, there is this lot of students also who are not able to manage their time properly. Like, they always have this issues, ma'am, we thought we would do, but the time went away here, it went away here. What is that one important thing they can do to make sure, they kind of manage their time well?
See, for managing the time, there are a few insights we normally say. Number one is calculate the worth of per minute.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a student, I would actually recommend you to calculate total number of working days, total number of education hours, and divide that for the amount that you pay as fee. So total fee divided by number of hours, you understand the worth of one single hour for which you're spending to get education as well. So you understand the quality of the hour, because after student life, you need to start calculating the value of money for your per hour, because after that you're contributing, right? So divide
Right.
by salary by number of hours you're working, so that you understand the importance of that. Number two is IGA, non-IGA. Simple. IGA is income generating activity, non-IGA is non-income generating activity. You do this, money comes in. For a student, I would say you do this is productive for your career. You do this is not productive for your career. I'm not saying spend all the time in this IGA or IPA, income producing activity, but at least most of your time should be over here. This is one. And the practicality, coming to the practical point, when do you sleep? When do you eat? When do you wake up? These are the three checkpoints that is actually putting your life upside down, and it's taking a lot of your time away. If you're able to at least try to fix up my eat time, sleep time, wake up time, and then remaining all you can just put in system as well.
The whole day falls in routine when you have the
Absolutely.
things fixed up. So true, so true. I think this it applies to everyone actually, not just the students.
Seriously. Yeah.
So a lot of my students have dreams of becoming an entrepreneur. Like probably some of them want to start their own business. Some of them are there who want to join family business also. What kind of tips would you like to share with them, James?
One is, whatever you're doing, just be totally true to it, true to that particular job or studies or whatever it is. Somewhere down the lane, again, coming back to the point of connecting the dots, every single thing will be so helpful when you become an entrepreneur. And if you're an entrepreneur, you should be more like the Superman kind of a person, all rounder. It's needed. People used to say jack of all trades, master of none, but nowadays it's requiring for you to be jack of all trades and master of your business.
Yeah, true.
So a little bit of even if it's digital marketing, or how to write a blog, how to change a profile picture, how to set a WhatsApp status, how to talk to people, how to shake hands, designing a visiting card, every single thing will be very, very helpful for you. And be a loyal consumer. Even when you think of the purchase decisions, buying decisions, if you're buying a laptop, if you're buying a mobile phone, ask yourself, why am I buying from this store? Why not from that store? What is inspiring me to go for this particular brand? So just be a lifelong learner. That's very, very important. And
Okay.
the words of Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, he
Mhm.
says, nobody gets paid for just like that. You get paid to solve a problem. So what is the problem you're solving? In order to talk about the problem, I would like to call it as pain point. If you look at any great business model, they are solving a customer pain point. If you're
Right.
an end user, you have some problem, you have some issues, and if you're able to add comfort to that problem or solve that particular problem, there is a money making opportunity. That is why we say business is not about making money, it's about solving problems. So ask yourself, what
So,
kind of problems would you like to solve? And already you are a problem solver. You need to just connect the dots again. In your college, in your school, you're solving certain problems. Maybe you're helping people, you're helping your department grow, the department functions, organizing event, multiple things. Maybe helping at your home, helping your relatives, helping your grandparents. Somewhere or the other, you're solving problems. Just be good at solving many problems. If you're able to solve more problems, it means you can do many businesses as well.
okay, okay.
But
So the
again,
key to
just
it is
because I said this line, it means that you need to also stick to one particular niche. That's very, very important. And if you're good enough with multitasking, that's fine. But be solid, super solid. But again, at this age, get better at problem solving.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect. So that was very, very helpful. And and I'm sure the student community would find this like really helpful. They were like amazing nuggets of wisdom which you gave us, James. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in. And if you have any questions, please drop it down in the comments box. We will be more than glad to answer you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, James, for being here. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting this program. And our best wishes to you, all the upcoming series, and everybody who's getting benefited through this as well. All the best.
Thanks. Bye bye.